It's been 3 years since the world said goodbye to Sidney Poitier, one of the most iconic, trailblazing actors of all time. But now, hidden details about his final years have quietly surfaced. And what they reveal isn't about fame, fortune, or red carpets. It's about a private struggle that Poitier kept hidden until the very end. What his family recently confirmed left fans stunned because behind the elegance and strength we all admired, Sidney was fighting a battle few ever knew existed when Sidney. Poitier first appeared on screen in the 1950s. Hollywood had never seen anything like him. Tall, dignified, and magnetic, he broke barriers that once seemed unbreakable. At a time when racial stereotypes dominated film, Poitier didn't just act, he transformed the image of black men in cinema. His performances in Lilies of the Field, A Raisin in the Sun, and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner weren't just movie roles. They were statements of power, grace, and humanity. But even as his star rose higher than anyone thought possible, Poitier carried a quiet burden. Friends and family now say that behind his calm, confident demeanor, he struggled deeply with the pressures of being the first. The first black man to win an Academy Award for Best Actor. The first to lead major Hollywood productions. The first to be expected to represent an entire race with every word, every gesture, every role in a recent interview. One of Poitier's daughters spoke about the toll it took on him. "My father carried a kind of weight that most people couldn't imagine," she said. "He wasn't just acting. He was protecting a legacy. One mistake, one wrong move. And he felt it could set us all back." For years, Sidney quietly battled anxiety and exhaustion, emotions he rarely let anyone see. Even after his retirement from acting, Poitier kept a relentless schedule, writing, mentoring, and serving as an ambassador. But those closest to him say that as he grew older, the pace began to take its toll. He suffered from declining health for years before his passing in 2022, though he rarely spoke about it publicly. He didn't want pity, a close friend said. He wanted people to focus on his purpose, not his pain. What's come to light now is that, in his final years, Sidney was quietly working on something deeply personal. A collection of letters and reflections that he never intended to publish during his lifetime. The writings, discovered by his family, reveal a man reflecting on the cost of greatness, the loneliness of fame, and the quiet doubts that haunted him even at the height of success. In one letter, Poitier wrote, "I lived in two worlds, the one that applauded me, and the one that never stopped testing me. I learned to smile through both." Another note revealed his struggle with aging, mortality, and the question of legacy. Will they remember the actor or the man? And does it matter if I've done my best to love well? His family has described reading those words as both heartbreaking and healing. "We always saw him as this unshakable pillar," his daughter shared. But those letters reminded us he was human, strong, yes, but also vulnerable. In the end, Sidney Poitier's greatest role may not have been on screen at all. It was the quiet strength he showed in private, the grace to carry pain with dignity, the courage to lead with humility, and the wisdom to leave behind lessons that still inspire generations today. 3 years after his passing, we now understand the full measure of who Sidney Poitier truly was, not just a Hollywood legend, but a man who bore the weight of history and never let it crush him. His secret struggle reminds us that even the greatest among us walk through darkness. But what makes them immortal is how they shine despite it. So yes, 3 years later, we finally see the truth. Sidney Poitier's story wasn't just one of fame. It was one of faith, endurance, and quiet bravery. And it's a story the world will never forget.